like a security app where it's mainly for parents for their kids, right? So like the app is paired with like a piece of jewelry that would be like designed for the app, right? A piece of jewelry or accessory or anything, right? Like a little bracelet. So let's say, so basically the bracelet is being tracked. So the parent knows exactly where the child is at all times. But there's also gonna be like a feature on the app where the parent can ping, right? Ping the piece of jewelry or whatever. And then the jewelry has three lights and three buttons. So it's gonna be a yellow light, like that basically asks the question, right? And it's, you basically push the button for green, as in like to let it sends a ping back to the phone.
Does it ask the question though? It should read
No,
out?
it doesn't ask the question. It's just like you can it's there's like a little like feature on the app where you like put in your question and everything, and the child will know. And basically, green is for safe, or like yes, I'm here, or I'm safe. And then there's a red button that you can press, and that will send the notification to the parent like, oh, I'm not there yet, or like I'm not safe. I'm like I don't know where I am,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a security feature for parents with like kids, teens, and it's
Yeah.
like a tracking device.
Interesting things, there's a bunch of things like that out there, you know, for kids, Alzheimer's patients, different things, but I do think that going to other things besides bracelets, hats, things like that, you can adapt that technology. Yeah.
I would like to do an app where you pay something like a fee, like $10 a month, and the app is gonna provide you with like small hustles for people like students, maybe high school kids, where you could like buy certain things and resell it at a certain, you know, small profit, and you generate some income that way.
Okay, a little small business, you know, at home kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
So basically, I just came up with it right now. So a lot of people steal bikes.
Right.
This app, like you could trace your bike by registering it, and then you could work with the traffic cams, and so like it'll send like a little
Signal, like a
Signal
low
saying
jack.
that
It's a little bit like the idea we heard.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then but with this one, how you get money is like to get current updates, you'd have to get the premium version of the app. So the first one would be free. So you know like you could register it and you know where it is for like maybe once a week. But then like with the premium, you get it like every time like the bike moves somewhere, you could get a notification if you want it. If not, then
Right. Interesting. Okay.
I have an idea that is an app where you basically, it's a social media platform for chefs, and it's basically you hire a personal chef to your house or to an event or to a corporate
So
party.
Uber for chefs.
Uber for chefs, but the thing is, I heard it's done before, but then it failed. I heard because it was just out marketed. But I thought about it and I was like, if I would do this thing, then I would give chefs like their own personal like identity on the page, their own rating, their own like style. So it would be like an Instagram.
I think that would work. I think
Well,
ultimately that's gonna be done. I like the way you're thinking. I do believe that that idea's got some good merit. Lots of service things, you know, I'll tell you a few that I have, but we'll go around, let's say, before I.
Well, there's a lot of ideas that came to class, but before I came, like my idea was, I'm always losing my things. Like I always lose my phone, I lose my keys. I have a son, so you know I can't find like where I want an app or some kind of like you know something that like so in an iPhone we have two cameras, we have a front and a back camera. We need an app that can monitor our things. Like you know we don't have to put a Bluetooth or anything on it. Like this phone should be able to like track because I'm always holding it. Like it should be telling me where I'm putting my keys. Or where, you know, I left, if I left, like, you know, where did I leave my lipstick, or where's my handbag? So if I'm looking for anything in the house, like, I just ask my phone, hey, where did I put my keys? And it talks back to me, telling me, oh, it's under the bed, or it's good for, like, people that, like, always have
I think ultimately that'll happen. I mean,
Like
you know, how they
short-term
track
memory.
it back in there, you
like,
know, probably
with the
RF.
camera, it should be able to, like,
I don't know about that, but maybe it'll be little RF rubber bands that you put on, you know, that you'll be able to track that, you know, now.
Okay, so I came up with an app called Bookshare, and essentially it's a marketplace for students to buy and sell books to each other. because there's two big problems with textbooks, especially with college students. One, they're expensive. Two, they can take long to ship. So let's say I need a textbook and somebody from Hunter College has it. So I look for the book, ISBN number, search, any kind of search, I'll find it, and I can contact the person who's selling it and be like, hey, I'm interested in buying this book, can we meet this, this, and this? And I can pay using PayPal, my credit card, and the app, Bookshare, will hold on to the payment until the exchange goes through. And basically the buyer and the seller will both have to press a button that says, okay, we made the exchange, and the money will go to the seller. The way the app will make money is that they take a percentage of the sales from each transaction.
Sure, I mean, I've seen things like that. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, no doubt people want to sell these things. Yeah, Matt.
Can I build off of that? You know how sometimes when you buy a book off of Amazon or something, it'll say, or when you're looking to sell it, it's like, do you have this book? Do you want to sell it? But a lot of times you're too lazy to put it up.
Right.
Your app should remember that you have it. So if someone's looking for that book, it'll automatically contact you saying, hey, do you want to sell this book?
That's a good idea. So like half.com and the share.com, and where, you know, my daughter's in law school, she returns the book, she rents the books, and she sends it back, and it's a whole big to-do, you know, and they make a lot of money on late fees. I mean, the breakage in the late fee market is tremendous. I mean, just a quick sidebar, and then we'll go back, but the airline industry makes so much money on the baggage fees and the meals they send more than they make on almost anything else in the whole business. That the business is made up on all of these tertiary fees that didn't exist when I was growing up. I mean, they gave you meals, and you were able to use the luggage. How many of you ever flown on Spirit Airline? Okay, only the two of us have been tortured like that. I mean, it's really a torturing experience on Spirit. But Spirit now charges you for overhead space. So if you want to bring your bag on, if not, and they follow you there. And if you don't pay in advance and you want to use it, it's $100. So they're after that. Their business model is, I believe, you know, is how to make the customer so miserable that he'll pay up in order to not have a miserable experience. And there's a certain segment of society that I think actually likes that. They like being abused in a crazy kind of way, but Spirit, you know, although consistently has the lowest ratings in the airline industry, is the most profitable business, and their stock symbol is SAVE, S-A-V-E. So you'll get to see how profitable that company is. Okay, back to the apps again. We left off.
Yeah. I was thinking to recreate Vine. Because after they shut down, there's like a big void in social media, and you could just literally recreate it and put one more second on the video, and it's now your idea. So it's really a void that could be filled really easily.
Right, so Vine, Periscope, you know, that video market is getting just like crushed. I actually saw a video. I saw a business the other day. Maybe I can send that business plan around. It was that same exact concept, except you could take the videos and mash them together so that you can be your own video editor. And I don't know if apps like that exist out there, but somebody came to me that they have this technology to take video and then mash it all together so that you could maybe do a video of your kids, give them all the videos, and they'll put it in date order, they'll add music that you put in, and it's like this mashable video thing, you know. And I thought it was a good idea until I gave it to my experts who told me, horrible. Vine is going down. You're facing massive competition, you know, with the YouTubes and the Snapchats and the Facebook Lives and the things like that. So, you know, not sure that's a great one, but we're thinking.
My app is called the Curvy Girl Guide, and it would focus mostly on like clothing and like bringing to light like different brands that like have size 0 through 30 or whatever the size, you know, plus sizes. And then it would also have like a fitness area in it, because a lot of like especially women these days want to like target certain parts of their body, so it would be like new and different like fitness ideas for different what you want to like work on, and then it would also be like self-care advice and like different tips and stuff on just how to improve yourself and your,
Right. How would you make money at that, Matt?
I was thinking you could work mostly with like brands.
Mhm.
So a lot of like plus size companies are like just very new right now. So like in subscription boxes, like there's Dia & Co and all these like places. So we could get like maybe like charge them to be featured on the app and like
Right.
do different like blog stuff on the app and stuff like that.
Right. If you're nothing, you're consistent with the ideas. I like it. Okay.
So you know how people like take pictures of their food?
Yep.
So I was thinking that maybe we can do like an app, maybe like, yeah, we can start like an app where people can take photos of their food, and I will also say where it's from, where they can find it, and like the calories. And also people can add like their homemade recipes to it.
Well, it's interesting, right? Who had the food idea back over there? Right. So maybe it's an interesting, idea. It sounds a lot like Instagram, right? Everybody takes pictures of everything they've ever eaten, on there. Gee, I saw you were gonna come up with the app idea of putting your dogs or cats and trading or selling or giving it away to other people. Does that exist out there?
Dog
Dog
trade?
trade. Right,
trade.
exactly, right?
Pup trade.
The pit bull exchange, the gray market of that stuff. Yeah, Joe.
What about an app that helps you find odd jobs more easier than just going to job resumes?
Someone said that back there. They came up with an idea, right?
Side hustle.
Eric, somebody
Side
right,
hustle.
came up with an idea like that where they charge you each month $10 and you'll be, Eric's idea, so you should coordinate with them. It's a good one though. I like it. Okay, Maria.
Okay, so my app idea was just based on food too. Was based on food too, and it was like kind of social media food kind. Yeah. So it's basically like I was focusing on people who cook at home. I believe that every single person has their own way of cooking, and they could add anything they want. They could combine whatever they want, and just tastes different from restaurants. So they could, like, someone from home, they could share videos, put on recipes and everything. It's like, and the other person could go like search, I want to learn how to make a chicken. And then there's gonna be like a list of people who have made chicken. And
Well,
they
like a
could
personalized kind of thing. Like a
Yeah.
personalized diary. Very interesting. Yeah.
He just gave me an idea, something that can add to my idea. He said people like want to learn to make chicken, or, like make some type of food. So why not like order a chef to your house, and he's gonna teach you how to make it professionally. So then you have the skill.
No, but
to
like
cook at home.
the way I think is like, yeah, you could be a chef, but you could not be the best chef. Like for me, my mom is the best one. Like you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, right. And that home cooked meal, I like that idea a lot. You guys have been talking about that today. It's resonating with me. Like, gee, who wouldn't want to have your mother's meatloaf kind of thing? That it's like the best delivered to your house.
I think it's a good way to help people also make money.
I agree.
It's a side hustle.
No,
Yeah.
it's a really good side hustle. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. Could you scale it? I don't know if you could scale it, but for grandma to make an extra $400 a week cash, it's a hell of a nice little side hustle. Everybody hear about Papa John's this week? What happened with them? So they decided to implement they tried to pull an airline maneuver. Okay, so if you want your pizza to get in the head of the line, you pay an extra $3.99. Where are we going with all of this? What next? I mean, get ahead of the line. JetBlue next? $5, we move you right to the head of the line? Broadway? I mean, where is all of this going? I don't know.
They have that in the movies now too.
Right.
You can pay like for the
Movies, you
premium.
can pick your seats in there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of things that are going on. Okay, I think we finished up everybody. All right, good ideas for apps. Apps are easy to build. Soon they're going to be like websites. They're going to be just plug and play. You decide what you want to do. Okay, my my big thing for apps are live apps. As you've heard me say over and over again, I love the live trainer. I love the live coach. I actually use my trainers in Texas. He moved from New York. So I have my iPad, you know, and 3 times a week we work out. In my house, I have a gym. He's out there in Houston, and you know, while it's not the same as when he was in my gym, you know, I still pay for it. And I still think a lot of it is babysitting, you know, and like life coaching, tutoring. I mean, FaceTime tutoring, FaceTime learning English. That one's not been done yet. Learn to speak English via FaceTime. And I had a friend of mine who taught me, and I was actually shocked, that you don't need to know any language to teach somebody else English. It's all like pictures and it's all thing. I thought, you know, I need to know Chinese or Korean to teach somebody how to speak English and say the word, but that's not the way it works, shockingly enough. So I think that in the future you're going to see stylists, you're going to see a lot of these things being done over FaceTime. You know, someone was talking about a stylist. I mean, you got to pay $50 an hour and have a professional stylist look at you and say, hey, walk me into your closet, let me see what you have, and let me throw together a few outfits for you, and then model them and put me on it. So I think the live aspect of things are really going to be going in a big way. All right, I want to take a minute now and review financing. Financing of your business is very important. Okay, you've heard a million times the statement, it takes money to make money, right? Everyone's heard that. And that can't be more true. But there's a lot of ways to get your financing, so I'm going to show you how. Okay, so finance, I can't emphasize enough, is so critical to where you're going, especially if you get into this business plan competition. You're basically looking for money. The judges are going to base your ideas, your model, your proof of concept, you know, right there, and then they can either award you the money or not. Okay, so hopefully this chapter taught you a little bit how important and tracking, you know, the money is, and being responsible with it, you know, not just, especially if you get money from friends and family and they see you bought a new car or something crazy like that, you know, be very sensitive to that kind of stuff. Okay, so today we have 2 student speakers, and first we're going to hear up from Matt Zallen.
Hello. So I was originally, well, my main idea is a subscription produce business, but after last week, Mr. Geller kind of sent me right back to the drawing board. So I'm going to talk about something that's pretty out of the ordinary. How many of you have ever been snorkeling or scuba diving? So like you've experienced like coral reefs and all that. It's beautiful, right? Basically, this is something that would look like. It's animated, but it gives you the idea. It's really nice to look at, and a lot of people would like to have in their own personal aquariums. That's where coral propagation comes in. Propagation is basically breeding organisms, and where I'm going with this is you'd sell it to people that have aquariums to basically just make it look nice. Where the idea came from is my friend who's really passionate about it, actually. He's been doing it for about 5 or 6 years as a hobby, but he never really had the resources or partnership to take it to the next level, to make it into a business. And that's where I come in. I have a background in science, and this involves a lot of chemistry and bio to really take it places. So basically, you would need this. It's called a frag tank. Can't really see it because of the lights. But it's a really strong structure, and there's salt water. You have pumps creating flow of the water, and then you have lights, and then over here is what it looks like inside you have like the pegboard, and you have a bunch of pegs. And each of these you'll see later, these are called heads of individual corals. They're actually about the size of my thumb, so they're really small. A few different types. You have large stony corals, which are these right here, small, and then these they're related to softies. They're sea anemones, which if you've seen Finding Nemo, you probably know what it is. Sea clownfish. Anyway, so back to the heads. So each of these are about the size of my thumb. And what happens is, over the course of a few months, under the right conditions, they multiply. So in about 4 or 5 months, this one would turn into 3 or 4. So basically, imagine you had a store and your products multiplied by themselves. So there's no buying anything. So that's where it leads to exponential growth. So basically, each one of these little heads is probably about $10 to $15, like on the low end. So over the course of a few months, your investment triples, quadruples, and then it
What do you
goes
buy
from there.
from wholesalers?
No, well, my friend already. You could buy them from a few places, like the heads, and under the right care, they multiply themselves. So basically, you have your own supply. So once you have that first one, which my friend already does, because he's been doing it for a few years. So what you do is you have these 3, you split them up, and then those become their own individual heads. So that's the multiplying part. So why wouldn't everyone do it if it multiplies by itself? Time, it certainly takes a lot of time. It takes maybe like 4 or 5 months to get the right amount of growth. And fish stores and aquariums don't really want to do this because they want to just turn a profit. They want to have things that they can sell right away. Space, our first tank is going to be 4 foot by 8 foot. So it takes a good amount of space, especially in fish stores. They wouldn't want that. Patience. You definitely don't want to rush it because you need everything to be right for the right growth. Catastrophic events, power outages. Let's say there's a crack in the tank. There's a few different things that could go wrong, and a lot of people that get into this don't really understand the interactions between the species. Like if you're going after one for the profit, it could kill off all your other ones. Like you got to know how they interact with each other. So just to give you an idea, we're starting off small with a 4x8 tank, which is 100 gallons. So we're starting with about 35 heads, right? That's what we have already. In about 4 months, 35 turns into about 105. 105 times $10 a head, that's $1,050 from nothing. So you just need persistence. You need the conditions to be perfect, like salinity, like the salt content, calcium, algae growth. You need to research, because different ones have different flow, different lighting, and then we just need to plan for expansion, which there are a few big companies out there that do this on a large scale. And then you could go into like other things like repopulating like the coral, like in the Caribbean, like you hear things about how corals are going extinct and like they're trying to save them and stuff. So you could go into that too. But the thing that caught my eye was was that growth chart. Because if I'm investing, say $200 and that turns into $800 within a matter of months, I think it's a no-brainer. But anyway, that's it. Just wanted to see you guys think about that.
Yeah, no, listen, I think that there's a lot of things, if you take a look at this is like the plant version of maybe the puppy mill. I mean, it takes 2 puppies to make thousands of puppies at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
So you have something like this that I never would have thought about.
Exactly.
You need to be a bit of a science head to do that.
And this is just like a part-time thing, because it only takes a few, maybe 30 minutes a day just to look at it. So this is something to do.
Yeah, this is like somebody writes a book, right?
Yeah.
You write the book.
Yeah.
How to start a business.
Exactly.
For under $200, and you talk about something like this. People would probably send you their money in to learn how to do this kind of thing. All right, very interesting. Okay, next one I have from Saif.
Okay, so my idea is Bookista. So just by a raise of hands, how many of you guys have a big collection of books in your house? Okay, cool. That's good news for me. I have a huge collection of books in my house. I have over like 150 books. I actually started reading because one of my teachers in high school, I was a very bad kid in high school, and one of my teachers took me outside of class, and she told me, she said there's kind of, I'll never forget, her name was Miss Tagliarino. Shout out if you're watching this. But so she took me outside of class, and she kind of told me there's two paths that you can go down in life, Sab. And the one you're going down, I've seen it before, and it's not going to end up good. And she said, but there's another path, and there's something else you can do with your life. And she actually gave me a very small book. It's called Think and Grow Rich. And she said, I want you to read this book, and I want you to see, you know, what you think. And it had a really profound impact on me at that young of an age. It really changed my outlook on the way I kind of view the world. And so I've been very passionate about books since then. I try to read all the time, and that's kind of where this passion and idea came from. So Bookista, what I want to do is sort of change the way we share information. And so, if any of you guys know who this is, Charlie Munger, I know you're a finance guy, I'm sure you know who this is. He's actually Warren Buffett's business partner. He's a multi-billionaire as well. And I thought this quote spoke to a lot of what I feel is, I've known no wise people over a broad subject matter who didn't read all the time, none, zero. You know, and so I think reading is paramount and highly important, and I know Professor Leibowitz says that all the time to us. So what the heck is Bookista, right? What is that? So basically it's a web app or an app that allows people to utilize the collections they have in their book, or the book collections they have at home, as a way to make passive income. And you know, I'm obsessed with finding ways to make a little bit of side money for people, and I think this is a great solution. I mean, the way it basically works is you have books in your home, you scan the books into the app, and anyone who's looking to read the book can very easily find it on the app and basically rent it from you. So everyone who has a collection in their home kind of becomes a mini library. The benefits of this is paramount. If you guys have ever gone anywhere outside of New York, we're very blessed to be in New York. There's libraries everywhere. There's not a lot of bookstores, or there's not a lot of ways for people to easily access books without purchasing them. So this provides a solution for both ends, right? If I have a huge collection of books in my house, I can scan them all into the app and basically let it free. People who want to get books can just rent them from me. The app take care of the payment. The app take care of kind of when you give it back. All kind of the things that you worry about, the app will notify you. You know, 2 days before you're supposed to return the book, a day before you're supposed to return the book, it'll give you a simple notification, and you go and you give it back. Now, the sort of extension to this is college campuses. I think it'll be huge on college campuses. I think we all have textbooks from classes that we took ages ago that are sitting there dusty in our closets. It's something you can scan in, and it'll facilitate information sharing. Look, if I want to, if I'm taking a nutrition class, for example, and I look up the nutrition book, and I meet someone who took that same class, and I ask them, well, what do you think of the class? Now I'm facilitating discussion and sort of changing the way we share ideas. Now it becomes less about, oh, I just need the textbook, and more about, well, wow, I can meet someone who sort of has taken the class before. So that's sort of I guess the business model and the idea behind it. So this is just me breaking down sort of the roles of the app. There will be a librarian, which is the person like me who has a massive collection in their home. The librarian just simply scans the books into their library and waits. There's no reason for you to do advertising. There's nothing you have to do. You just sit and wait. And then the reader comes in. So the reader is anyone who's looking for that particular book. They can search it up through a variety of methods. These things, the search engines and things are so robust now, it's very easy for us to have a search method in the app without too much qualms, I guess you could say. The reader checks the book out from you, meets up with you, gets the book from you, and the app handles the rest of it. So you don't worry about passing payment, you don't worry about anything like that. And you can decide how long you want to rent the book for, and you pay for it. That's all it is. Instead of buying a $20 book, you spend $2, you read it, over the course of whatever 2 weeks, and you give it back, and it's that simple. And instead of ending up like me with a huge collection of books you don't know what to do about, you read what you need to know, you learn what you need to know, and you give it back. Now, this space is kind of interesting because the swapping space is big, but this like person-to-person swapping aspect is not. So there's all these swapping websites where you can send your book into these warehouses and they'll send you something back, which is interesting, and I think there's value in that too. But this is very different because you're not sending anything anywhere, you're not shipping anything anywhere, you're just taking your collection and kind of putting it up there for people to kind of grab. So yeah, that's how Bookista is different. You know, most similar apps and products are solely for the benefit of the swapping app. These swapping websites, they make most of the money. They end up selling your books back or whatever the case is, and you don't really get equal value for what you gave. This is very different. You get to keep your books, or you can end up selling them through the app. You know, we can discuss and figure out ways to do that. And yeah, that's my idea. I did have a mock-up, but I can't really find it right now, which sucks because I worked really hard to make that mock-up happen. But yeah, that's my idea.
All right, very, very nice. I've got some questions or comments on this. Go ahead, Joe.
I have a question. It might be like, let's say I let someone read out my book, and when I get it back, I notice there's scribbles or some juice stains on it, ruining the book for me to ever read again.
That's a great point. And you know, honestly, I'll be honest, I didn't think about something like that. I don't know. I felt like people would be nice.
So what happens now in the book sharing? I'm sure people rent books out now. I mean, what happens to books that you return? I'm sure they have a fee involved.
Yes, there's
and they
fees
just,
and penalties.
fees, penalties if you're late and things like that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, that's not what you would want to happen, but I mean, it's valid. You know, you
But
went
it
to
could
a coffee
happen, yeah,
shop
no
and you
doubt.
drop coffee on it.
Sure, good.
So I have a couple questions, and it's just criticism, right?
No, yeah.
No mutual
Constructive
fan.
criticism is
Right.
good.
I'm not gonna get
So
offended.
my first question is, how do you plan on making money off of this?
So you take a percentage of the renters, the fee that people are paying for renting,
Okay.
and even expanding further than that, I would actually, like, if the app gets big enough, let's say we have like, I don't know, 1 million users, for example, we can go to publishing companies and have them pay to have their book featured on the app as well. So kind of like sponsorships as well to kind of raise awareness of books that they're putting out and stuff like that.
Okay, and my second question is,
Mhm.
how would this compete with like websites like Audible that have like books, but it's like
Ebooks.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know.
Audiobooks,
Yeah.
free audiobooks, free
Stuff like
exchange,
that.
things like that. You know, it's interesting because I actually looked into this, and ebook sales are actually declining. So people are actually not trending towards ebooks. It's really the reason why ebook sales grew so much in the beginning also was the convenience of having all your books in one place, or having all your books. But from what I read and research, and you know, it's a debate, people prefer to have the physical feeling of books, especially people who are very kind of readers or bookworms. People prefer to have that feeling of opening up the book, flipping through the pages, and kind of that old school feel, and they don't get that same feeling from a Kindle or an iPad or whatever. So there's some debate there with the I don't think books are going anywhere. That's basically the point. Yeah.
Great. Okay, very, very good. Great job. You know what I like about this this app is that it's not limited to books. I mean, the successful apps like you've seen, Rent the Runway, where they rent gowns, which is such a brilliant idea. Okay, bride wears a wedding gown hopefully just once, maybe twice. Unless it could be more than that. Bridesmaids dresses, all of these type of gowns. I mean, it's such a natural no-brainer that people would want to get some cash for renting out their gown, and then it comes back to them pressed and steamed, or it just stays there in the warehouse. You know, I thought first initially when I was watching this that what you were thinking of doing was scanning in the whole book, and then I'm saying, you know, you can't scan in the whole book. You have all kinds of copyright infringement problems and things like that. I mean, that would be a great idea, but clearly you can't do that. But I think it's a solid idea. I think, you know, there's a lot of competition. as you said, in that market, but for people who wanna just earn some dollars, you know, right now the hottest apps are these ones where you take a picture of your bike and you put it online and someone wants to buy your bike, they meet up with you, they pay you, you know, like Take 5 and a couple of other ones that are like that. So you're absolutely thinking along the right lines. All right, next week we're gonna have another guest speaker. Andrew Silverman is a consultant guy that I met last year, and he's gonna teach you about how to make money being a consultant, which is a spectacular way for somebody who has an expertise, you know, to go in and get contracts with different companies and bid on that. All right, next week we're gonna hear from Joseph Maxey and Viola Lee. All right, I'm gonna have to end a little bit early today. I have to run off to the city for an important meeting, okay? Good luck with the business plan stuff. Send it to me and I'll coordinate it to the right channel. Thanks a lot.